I am a dark web bounty hunter, and I was hired to take out my brother. There's a reason so many people vanish every year without a trace. Entire communities search, governments investigate, but some cases just don't close. I know why. I'm one of the reasons. I'm what's called a BHK, bounty hunter killer. I don't just track people, I take them out. The dark web is full of people who deserve to disappear. My job is simple: find them, eliminate them, and make sure no one asks questions. Last winter, my tech guy, Chuck, reached out. Got a child killer in Wichita, he said. Track him, get the bodies, and finish the job. $20,000 payout. Chuck sent over the details: a red Hyundai Sonata, some blurry surveillance footage, and pictures from the killer's basement. The crime scene was horrifying. A bloodied table, chains bolted to the floor, and the body of a woman whose age I didn't want to guess. Chuck's message ended simply: make him suffer. The target's name was Marvin. No priors, lived alone. His driveway wrapped around to a basement entrance, a perfect setup for his crimes. I packed my gear and drove to Kansas, ready to finish the job. It didn't take long to find Marvin. I waited until he left his house, then broke into the basement. The stench of cigar smoke mixed with something far worse filled the air. The blood-stained table told me I was in the right place. This was where his victims had suffered. Hours later, Marvin came home. I caught him off guard, dragging him to the basement and chaining him to his own table. But as I looked into his face, something stopped me cold. His hair, his nose, it wasn't just familiar. It was my brother, Malcolm. He didn't recognize me with my face covered. "Please, don't hurt me," he begged, tears streaming down his face. My mind raced. Malcolm had told the family he'd moved to California. Why was he here? Why was he living a double life? I kept my voice steady. "I'm not going to hurt you," I lied. "Tell me where the bodies are." He sobbed, insisting he didn't know what I was talking about. My instincts screamed he wasn't lying. I'd seen enough killers to know when someone was faking, and Malcolm didn't fit. But if he wasn't the killer, then why was Chuck so sure? I called him. "Chuck, double-check the target. Are you sure it's Marvin?" There was silence on the line. "Wait, hang on." Chuck's voice was uneasy. "There's been a mistake. The name's Morgan, not Marvin. Vile, you've got the wrong guy." The words hit me like a freight train. My brother wasn't the killer. But before I could process what Chuck said, a sound cut through the room, a creak from the corner where a heavy curtain hung. Behind the curtain was a door I hadn't noticed before. I pulled it open, revealing a hidden room. My blood ran cold. Photos covered the walls of me, pictures from my childhood, my family, even recent surveillance shots. This wasn't just a mistake. The killer had been hunting me. Pinned to the wall were diagrams of every victim I'd taken out. Each bore a strange symbol carved into their skin, something I'd never noticed before. It was a message, and now it was clear. Behind me, a low chuckle echoed. I turned. Standing in the doorway was a man, pale and thin, with a twisted smile. His eyes gleamed with malice. "I've been waiting for you, Vile," he said, his voice dripping with menace. The door creaked shut behind him, locking us in darkness.